All right, good morning and welcome to Mishna Yomi. Today we're learning Masechah Sheviis. We're finishing Perek Bey's second Perek, learning Mishnayos Ted and Yud. I'm speaking to my friend Yossi Chonek over here, who Dafka was on a phone call. It was an important phone call. His wife was going to the hospital to give birth, and she was crying to him. They should come with her. She bocha, she rotza, והוא אמר, no! השיר של בן ציון lang עכשיו, אני צריך לזכור הטלפון, I have to hang up the phone. He hung up the phone, and his wife is on the way to the hospital. I hope she doesn't give birth in the ambulance. I hope it works out for you, Yossi.
My brother.
Your brother, his brother's wife. Okay, his brother's wife was on the way to the hospital, and his brother needed his help because his brother's in Tveria. Yeah. I'm joking around, Yossi. It's okay. It's okay. We're joking here. All right. Mishna Ted, Abtzolim Asarisim Upol Mitzri Shemana Mehem Mayim Shloshim of Rosh Hashanah. Misasron L'Sha'avar Umutarim B'Shvius V'Im Lav Asurim B'Shvius Misasron L'Shana Abba. We're going to talk about certain crops need irrigation, meaning you have to water them in additional to the rainwater. Some crops sustain. We'll learn Shalbal from Moed Katan. Vegetables of a field of Baal are sustained just by rainwater. So here we're talking about Psalam Asrisim. These are onions that are srisim that can't produce children. I would say there's purple onions and then there's the brown regular onions. Purple onions give you life. Regular onions don't give you so much life. Maybe we're talking about regular onions. Paul Mitzri, the Egyptian bean, the fava bean, they make full madamas out of it. In Egypt, Shemonim Hemaim Shloshim of Rosh Hashanah. Again, this is something, these types of vegetables are normally irrigated along with the rainwater. And what did he do? He stopped giving them irrigation. So the cutoff point is 30 days. If he stopped giving them irrigation 30 days before Rosh Hashanah of Shemitah, so then they are now, we treat them now as a field of Baal that's just dependent on rainwater. And a field that's dependent on rainwater goes based on what's previous, right? If you irrigate something, so then it needs more strength, and we would go, the irrigation lasts longer in the ground. There's more water over there for this plant, so therefore we have to be more machmer and say that the irrigation continues up until Shemitah. So if you didn't do irrigation within 30 days before, so then it's considered shalbal. It's considered to be irrigated solely by rainwater. So therefore it's considered to be peiros of shishis, and you take off meiser ani, and it would not be aser and Shemitah. Shalbal, let's say you have vegetables that are grown in Shalbal that only need rainwater. That would depend. Let's say he actually wants, if they only depend on rainwater, and he actually wants to prevent the rainwater from even sustaining these things. They would have no water. This is the way I think it makes sense. That would require a longer amount of time. The Rambam says 2 hours, but Tiferes Israel says it's more time than 30 days. I like to explain 30 days. They would be 2 months. Chum say 3 months, right? These are stronger types of plants. They only need rainwater. So therefore, if you cut off their water supply within 2 months, 3 months before Shemitah, so then they were obviously only powered by water from last year. They only grew last year before Shemitah. If it was less than 2 months or less than 3 months according to the Chachamim, then they were even grown. The moisture in the ground will allow them to grow during Shemitah, and to be growing during Shemitah will be a problem of Peiros Shemitah. Mishna Yud, Mishna says, Hadluin Shekim on the Zera. Let's say you have gourds, butternut, squash, that you're not planning on eating, you just want the seeds to replant it. Im Hikshu Lefnei Rosh Hashanah, because if it was an edible fruit, so then obviously it would be Peiros Sheviis. Here you're doing it not for the fruit itself. If the fruit itself became Hukshu Lefnei Rosh Hashanah, it became hard for Rosh Hashanah. It's not edible anymore by human beings. Even though technically it grew during Shemitah, but since you're not doing it for ochel, so therefore you're allowed to keep it on Shemitah. You're allowed to benefit from it. If not, it wasn't so hard, so then you can't keep it on Shemitah. It has the din of Peiros Shemitah, even though you're not doing it for achila. Tomorrow Shalem, let's say berries grew on top of these squashes, or butternut squash, or pumpkins. Asher Sheviis, those are edible fruits. They're Asher and Sheviis. Shemitah Marbisim Bafar Lavon. A big halacha over here that normally you're not allowed to plant, you're not allowed to water a field during Shemitah, but to sprinkle water, Marbid, just to sprinkle water so that the the dirt doesn't dry up so much. A little bit of water, that's okay. There Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov Oser. Elazar says he's still on this. Machmir Marsin Ba'or is Sheviis. Tanakama learns also when it comes to a rice field, you're allowed to sprinkle water there during Shemitah. Rabbi Shimon Omer. Rabbi Shimon himself says aval ein mechaschen, but you can't, even though he would allow sprinkling, like he said before, he would not like to cut down branches from the rice plants, which would help it grow. So this is very interesting. There's even accepted opinion over here is you're allowed to sprinkle water on a field during Shemitah, although you couldn't water the field during Shemitah. We'll talk about Mishna Tet and Ian Mishnayos coming up next.